So, oh boy, we have got to talk about this brand new petition that is going on around the community. Also, we're going to talk about those drop rates. And yes, we have got to talk about this extremely powerful Descendant and what the community is discussing on how this should be addressed, and a Descendant that they feel is ultimately extremely weak and is just not fun to play whatsoever, and what can be done about that. Plus, if you are farming right now for an ultimate Descendant, I've got a huge spreadsheet for you that will be extremely helpful for farming those ultimates. And we are going to talk about some potential changes to the UI. We're going to talk about more options for customization and much more. But yeah, let's start out with that petition. Check it out right here. It goes on to say this: petition to remove character collision. It's so annoying, man, especially if you play any fast character like Bunny and inevitably bump into a teammate or even an enemy. Just draining all of your momentum, feels clunky, and significantly worsens the overall movement flow. I'm noticing this more and more, especially with the enemies. It's interesting, yes, teammates, I'm bumping into them as well, but when it comes to enemies, it's so weird to bump into enemies, especially when you're trying to like flow through them. They look really natural, but sometimes it just feels like the perfect word is clunky. And it seems like to be more and more of a discussion as we get further into the game. A lot of people are entering the end game where there are more enemies on screen and large mobs and crowds. And of course, they're playing with their friends and bumping into them all the time. Yes, I really do think they need to remove collision big time. Now, we got to talk about this one. I feel like this is maybe a troll. It says 3 Ultimates Descendants crafting drop rates feel fair, guys. And there was another post by the same person, free to play crafting 4 Ultimate Descendants for free. Talks about how easy this is and how the drop rates are no big deal. But some people reply saying, hey, wait a second, why are you asking for violence? If someone ends up insulting you, it's kind of your fault. Face palms. Of course, he's joking. I don't recommend any sort of violence whatsoever. He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But it brings up the question, how are you guys feeling about farming ultimates for free currently? Yeah, you know, how does it feel as a free-to-play player? Some people are like, drop rates are so bad right now. Please, Nexon, I'm literally going insane. More than 80 runs, and I got nothing. I just need the glaze stabilizer, and that's it. It's been 35 hours. Please. Some people are like, hey, the drop rates are not good at all currently. In fact, some people are like, hey, are the drop rates completely rigged right now? We have discussed this, but this guy ran a test. Check it out. It says, early this evening, I have a post on that already. I run a recon mission like 2 hours, 20 runs, got 0 pattern drops. It was a 25% chance of drop. And I tried to farm it for like 2 more hours, in total like 4 hours with 40 plus runs. Nothing happens. Nothing is dropping. Life is meaningless. Chance is 0 for me, not 25%. But then I got really bored and I remembered to read a post. If you do solo farming for it, you will not get it in days. Then I proceed to try it out. I go to a boss fight, doing 2 hard ops and some stuff at Albion and other places. Then I come back for final run before I rest, and bang, it drop. Wait, that's not it. It drops once, and then I waited for 5 minutes for cooldown. I clear, and bang, the second drop. Clearly, there's something behind the drop rate system, and the number is not what they show, because 25% for 40 runs is insane, and 25% for like double drop is still insane. Is it that I'm extremely unlucky or extremely lucky at the same time? And someone did actually reply about the drop rates, essentially saying, hey, you don't have enough data to base your findings around. Check it out right here. It's actually very interesting. It goes on to say this. This is pretty much how superstitions are created. You're very unlucky coincidence, and now you've started to implement a very inefficient dance of luck, and now wasting tons of time to just ease your mind. And the worst part is that it probably even looks like it works to solidifying that superstition, because being that unlucky is just super rare and will usually not happen every day. Do it a few hundred times and that's it. When we're leaving the zone of assumption and accusations, and where we get into the field of finding something actually suspicious. But I'm just hearing that people are having bad luck with drop rates. So, I'm curious your take. The RNG is just absolutely all over the place. And again, I'm just like waiting and counting down the days until we hear something from Nexon, which they did promise, hey, they will have like a full breakdown of how drop rates actually work. I really want to see that data, but I think they're waiting, honestly, to update the game somehow with drop rates before they provide data. They want it to be accurate, so we'll see. But yeah, you know what? we got to talk about the balance of characters, because for some people, yes, it has been an issue for the game. Other people, don't mind it, go crazy, be overpowered, but check it out here. It says, I'm fed up with how OP Bunny is. Man, people will not leave Bunny alone. Since I play mostly Freyna and Lepik, their abilities take forever to cool down, and they do high damage versus single target or small AoE for a limited time. Bunny has massive AoE, massive damage aura with ridiculously fast cooldown, and can run everywhere super quick. Almost every single infiltration mission I'm just running to keep up and walking past the drops of dead mobs. Then, when in a room full of enemies, I can't believe that it's considered acceptable game design for all of them to be instantly dead because of one low cooldown Bunny ability that takes 0 skill. This is made worse when there is an ultimate Bunny with bigger radius and more damage. They need to increase the cooldown, reduce the area of effect, or reduce the damage. Something that is such a large radius, does so much damage, moves so fast, has such a short cooldown, and takes 0 effort is insanely unbalanced. It also completely bypasses enemy shields, mostly boss immune mechanics, and common enemy immune spots. On Albion Defense, as an example, I have level 100 guns. I'm shooting the enemies in the late stages, and they take a second to kill some of the bigger guys. Meanwhile, Bunny just turns on their instant kill aura and mops every enemy up in as much time as it takes for me to kill one. It's okay for a class to be good versus large mobs, but to be this crazy efficient for no effort when 90% of the game is spent killing smaller enemies, for me is too much. I see some discussion around this, and yet I'm actually quite surprised how little discussion I see given how ridiculously OP Bunny is compared to everything else. I understand she's very popular of how powerful she is, plus skins, but I think she's actually harming the game in the long run, as it makes the game much less fun for everyone else not playing Bunny. But yeah, this just seems to be a very ongoing discussion currently about Bunny and what could be potentially done. I do not agree with nerfs at all for Bunny, of course. I just believe in raising up the powers of the other characters to kind of match her. And then once that is done, they would probably have to adjust the AI. I think that would make the most sense to make it more challenging, But then again, that could be viewed as like a nerf all around if they do something like that. So this is a tricky one. I am extremely curious your take on this, guys, and how Nexon would approach something like this in the long term, because it sounds like it's going to be a long-term thing. But again, Nexon has gone on record saying, hey, we are not interested in nerfing your fun. It sounds like they're not going to be nerfing Bunny anytime soon whatsoever. Drop rates, loot, farming methods, and that sort of thing, they're willing to adjust, but even still, they want to have a wide variety of play options that really balance out the game. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this one. Since we're on the subject of an OP character here, let's talk about one that's what people are considering very underwhelming. J-Bear feels awful to play. I cannot believe how bad he is. Why does he slow down to place his turret? Why does his turret require you to enter an aim state to place? Should just throw it out. Why do his turrets do so little damage compared to other abilities? Why do they run out of time so fast? Bunny can nuke an area while J-Bear is just being an idiot, we'll say, sitting in a corner, placing a turret. I cannot wait to max his levels so I never have to use him again. Holy shit, he's bad. And we got some replies here that J-Bear is actually their favorite character. The attack turret setup isn't great. You're right there. Attacking compulsion is not good for now, and having to shoot your turrets is a sad state for turret tech lovers. That being said, the turret engineering mod setup is a blast. He's easily the best healer in the game at the moment, and tanky enough to solo every boss with the right build. I carry my buddies all day with him through all content, and no having to shoot your turret with it up the entire fight and not having to refresh once. I was where you are early on. Tried, put him down, and cleared all content with Freyna. Then went back when I got the turret engineering, and he's my favorite. So yeah, it seems like it takes time to figure him out, perhaps. Or it also sounds like at the same time they need to adjust the turret specifically as well to make him more fun, to make him feel like a fun character to play. This weird oddity of how he actually places down the turret seems to be the issue. Now, we got to talk about ultimates. I promised you guys a spreadsheet. Check it out here. So this is the Ultimate Descendant Farm spreadsheet. This is very, very cool and detailed. and gives you all the details on how you can actually farm properly for the ultimate that you're seeking. So go check that out. I have that in the description below. It should be super helpful. But we also got to talk about the UI, because we have this right here. Game devs, can you please switch your UI to this, because it's pretty annoying that the delete friend is right under your party invite. Yeah, I don't know why that is. So a lot of people want this to be adjusted because this can accidentally happen. 172 upvotes on this, so it seems like the community definitely wants this to happen. And also, they could let us hide helmets as an option. A lot of people I've been seeing talking about this out on the forums within the community, that this should definitely be in the game. All right, so you guys know what time it is. It is time for your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in a future video, so let's do this. We have this one right here. 7 years of being treated very badly by the Destiny devs, that when the community discovers an efficient farming method, the devs patch it or block equipment so that this does not happen. The First Descendant is my main game now. Wow, so even hardcore Destiny fanatics are making the switch to First Descendant. Let me know if that's you, or if Destiny still has you hooked or not. And then we also have a comment here about the Colossus. It says right here, Colossus appearing in the open world would truly be an awesome thing. I really do think it would be a game changer, being able to see those things emerge or have random events around them. I've always said, like, even with Diablo 4, they should have horde mode around Colossus. They could do so much more stuff around world bosses and that sort of thing. All right, next up, we have this one. The company is absolutely killing it as far as community feedback and conversation is concerned. It's rare. It's very rare to see, and it's extremely refreshing. I love it. I love that they're this in tuned to their community. And it says, would love it if, whilst in the open world, there was random events where a random Colossus would invade. Hell yes, that's what I'm talking about. Now, the devs be cooking. I have a feeling that one of the biggest reasons they are so on point with communication is because of Warframe and how successful it is. Competition, in other words, is a very, very good thing. All right, so there it is. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more of the First Descendant. I have you guys covered. And, of course, more open world gaming goodness. Let me know if you're playing Throne and Liberty, by the way. I'm kind of curious if anyone has hopped into that one in your take. But yeah, there's also some other really cool games coming up here, especially in September. Warhammer, Space Marine 2. Man, that one is going to be so good. I have this feeling. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you all next time. Take care.